I'm Daniel Beckmann, and I'm a staff writer here at The Movie Buff, and this is The Movie Buff Show. This episode is an interview out of the Tribeca Film Festival for the short film Liza Anonymous, or Liza Anonymous, where I spoke with producer and main actress in the film Danielle Beckmann, who plays Liza, as well as the film's director and producer Aubrey Smyth, and line producer Katie Rosin, who also does the PR for the film. The film played as part of the Shorts New York 2021 Shorts program on June 12th, and the film is about a lonely millennial, Liza, who is a support group addict, disguising herself in different personas while trying to fit in. The film is now available to watch online through June 23rd as part of the Shorts Pass for Tribeca, and there's more info on that down below. Thank you for supporting TheMovieBuff.net, and stay tuned to our website for more Tribeca coverage with other exciting interviews like this one. So let's get right into the conversation about Liza Anonymous. I am here with the team behind Liza Anonymous. I would love if you guys could introduce yourselves to our listeners and watchers as well.
I'm Katie Rosin. I am the line producer of Liza Anonymous.
I'll go. I am Danielle Beckmann, and I play Liza in Liza Anonymous, and I'm also a producer of the film.
I'm Aubrey Smyth, and I'm the director of Liza Anonymous, and I'm also a producer.
Okay, and I am Danielle Beckmann. I work for The Movie Buff, and I am not a producer on Liza Anonymous, but that's fine. So, Katie, I was curious to start. Can you tell me what a line producer is?
Yes, that's a great question. So a line producer is actually what you picture a producer doing. It is very much about moving the money around in the projects and doing all the hiring and doing all the logistics and coordinating. Oftentimes, the line producer is sort of the top producer, and then there are people under them, a production manager, coordinator, PAs, whatever. But on a project sort of our size, the line producer does a lot more. So you're not just managing the budget, but you're doing all the negotiations of the hiring for crew and also for the cast, and you sort of oversee all the departments. So it's a much more active producerial role in a project.
Oh, okay. And then you also do the PR and like arranging great chats like this.
Yeah, so I should have mentioned that. I am a publicist by trade. That's what my day job is, a publicist. So Liza Anonymous fortuitously got an in-house publicist just by nature of me working on it. So that's why I did all the PR on it. I do PR for theater and for film in New York City. And my passion is filmmaking. So for the last 5 years, I've been really moving myself over into a more line producer type role in filmmaking. But also in theater, I have a Broadway show that I'm developing. So I'm multifaceted.
Okay. And also a funny story, when we were emailing, I think I just copy and pasted the names, and I was like, oh, if Katie Rosin wants to come on too, I was like, that would be great.
I was like, yeah, she's available.
Does her own PR.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I didn't put two and two together.
It was really funny because actually you're my first interview, and I realized about towards the end of last week, I was like, I'm giving all the interviews to Danielle and Aubrey, and I haven't done one myself. And I realized that I was promoting all four of us because we have a really strong women-centric team, and I was forgetting to sign myself up for interviews.
That's so fun. Now, what's it like for you guys, like having that woman-centric team and having so many core creatives in so many important roles?
I'll go. I think that it's more and more of what I'm hoping to see in the future of film production, honestly. We were so grateful to have, I think, over 50%, I think almost 60% of our cast and whole crew to be female identifying. And the more and more that I'm seeing in film production, I'm hoping that just becomes the norm. And it was something we were really intentional about, and we made it happen. And set was so fun. I absolutely loved it. So, but we also had some rock star guys, I gotta say. But we're really proud of the core team that we're all women.
Okay, I love that. Also, I wanted to ask about just like the intro to Liza, and with Aubrey, with your direction, with that score going over it, and then the circular motion. What was that challenging to figure out, or was that just what was that like?
It was a little challenging to figure out. The opening scene, how it looks visually, is what draw me to the script. And I just love that. I think it's like a very strong opening, very memorable, and goes along with the character very well. So the reason that we're spinning the camera around her is that she stays centered, and that motion, not only is it like, looks visually nice and it's a great way to transition, but it's also symbolic of that Liza is spinning lies, which is also why our writer named her Liza, because she is
Liza Anonymous.
Yes. And so, it's also like a way that, everything you do in a frame influences how you feel about that character, how you empathize with that character. So she's centered. There's even like one of my favorite moments. I plan things out pretty much to a T as much as possible, but sometimes when you're there, you got to see it. Like there was this one moment that I really liked, that we have like clapping in the foreground coming off the camera, and she's centered, or it would be more like I can't. And anyway, that like little extra foreground of the claps like makes you kind of understand how she like is gushing over, like loving the attention. So that's what we wanted to show there.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, and it is so good for transitions, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's nice for transitions. And, one thing like with the wardrobe and makeup and all her characters, like it's a nice way to like expose everybody.
True. Now, Danielle, did you have a favorite one to play? A favorite persona to play?
I really love the opening character with the pink jacket, because she's very far from me. And so it was just really fun to kind of play with that. And I also, the character of the personas of Liza that I love the best, I can't really talk about because I don't want to give away the end of the film. But one of them is my favorite, and it's when she kind of gets to the core of who she is. So, but I'd have to say pink jacket, really fun.
I want to add that is also my favorite too, because that is my actual pink fuzzy jacket.
Yes.
Wearing my jewelry, which is like too many pearls she wears. And the clips in her hair are also mine in real life that I wear.
Aubrey really dressed me and was down to like little things in each scene, was so helpful with bringing that visual of the costume to tell the story. Bringing that to life. Yeah, I wore a lot of your stuff.
So is that character Aubrey?
No, but I was like, oh yeah, we see this character to wear pearls, and I was like, I have pearls. Let me tell you, we don't need to buy those.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, was it fun doing the British accent too?
It was a blast. It was lovely. And I actually worked with this amazing coach named Erica Hart, who we worked on each of the characters, because if you think about it, it's Liza, the character of Liza, playing these other personas. So we layered in, what is it for this chick named Liza to be playing these masks and facades? Liza's not a Broadway actress. Who is she? So what does it look like to be subtle in those things while still keeping the character? And so, yes, I was actually very honored because one of the adjudicators of Tribeca is British, and he called to let us know about the good news, and he complimented my accent. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's all I needed. Very kind. Very, very kind.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there are like 5 different accents here. And I mean, like
Yeah.
usually it's pretty impressive when someone does like 2 roles in a film, but you have 5, so
Yeah, well, and I think that we really wanted to delineate, but be, have a nuance in it. And so one of the things on top of the dialect that I worked on with my coach was just sort of the energy center of each character. What the girl in Gamblers Anonymous, she's like this exploded kind of like at you. And then, the British character is a little bit more like, I'm here, I'm sort of seductive, I'm in, so getting to play with those as an actor was a dream. It was so fun.
okay. I love the poker tattoo.
Thank you. Oh, yes, that came off and on and off and on for shooting schedule.
How many times did you have to reapply it?
Just once, but we had to scrub my skin a lot. It was, shout out to Gia, our makeup artist. She was amazing. So
Okay. Now, all of you have like producer credits. So did you guys get to workshop the characters a lot, or was that mostly like you, Danielle, and the writer Leah?
Uh,
Whoever wants to go.
I was just gonna say one thing that was so nice that for me as directing was that Danielle was so prepared and had all the characters. Like she really knew how to express them, and so it allowed me to be able to concentrate on like some more technical shot list blocking, and then we'd pick frames from there and things like that. But yeah, Danielle really brought it, and I just love a prepared actor.
Honestly, I don't think that there was a way I could have showed up to set without being prepared for that. We shot the whole film in 2 days. So, really being cognizant and being mindful, I think that's something as a producer actor that's sort of like a secret weapon. I know the timetables. I knew the budget. Katie kept me so in the loop and informed on what was going on that end. So by the time I got to set, I was like, okay, I know that I have 45 minutes for this scene, so I'm gonna nail it. So,
and isn't that what always happens, is that like you spend so much time setting up for the shot, and then the performer doesn't get a lot of time to do each take. So we're like looking at like, between, well, there were definitely some just 2 takes in there for sure.
yeah.
But
And then you always love hearing the like, okay, we need one more for camera, and the actor's like, but that was my best one. It's like, well, do it again. You got to do it again. That's why you're here. That's why you do it. So I love it though. That's why I love being on set.
It sounds very efficient.
Well, we had to be efficient, right? Because we didn't have much time. And like Liza, Danielle was saying, even about the tattoo, like it took us a couple of conversations and, strategy around how we were going to shoot her having it and not having it, and then having it again, and nighttime and hours and everything. So it's like, there's a lot of strategy that goes into it as well.
Okay. And also like only filming over 2 days. I was curious, like Danielle, like did you have to like get into one character and then be like, okay, now I'm a different person?
That's a great question. Honestly, that goes when I was in the makeup and hair, when I was doing makeup and hair, that was when I was getting into the mindset. Like, here we go. Okay, what's next? Am I from Alabama now, or am I from the Bronx? Like, let's just. And so it was lovely. It gave me enough time. Yeah.
Okay. Can you become another person right now and do the eating disorder one?
Oh, well, she was a Valley girl, right? So that one wasn't too hard, considering I grew up in San Diego and like I live in the Valley right now. So that's all I'm gonna do. I literally live in the Valley.
Thank you for humoring.
You're welcome.
Now, I would love to talk about the costumes as well, and just what that was like figuring that out. And obviously, Aubrey, you had a bunch for the British one.
Yeah, so figuring out the costumes. I actually worked with the production designer early on, because he was, one of the first people on. on board before our wardrobe stylist was, and he and I were talking about color palettes of each scene. And we actually both went to Pratt Institute, so like color theory is ingrained in us. And so I really wanted to make sure that each room looked different, and that goes to also the wardrobe. And so we really thought about instead we were like, well, what colors won't be included? Like we eliminated colors. So like when in the Sexaholics room, you'll only see baby blues, baby pinks, and leather. And so a lot of the people were wearing leather jackets, and she kind of like took it up like a little bit more like cool and attention seeking and things like that. And then or like Alcoholics Anonymous, we did the wardrobe for the all of the extras. We're like, well, you know, that could be anybody. That's just kind of, so we had like a nurse, we had someone who looked like a professor, you know, but we kind of kept them more in muted. We went like brown, green, purple in that room. And she had Jean on, so we kept Jean, just because it's like the every person. So you know, those are just two examples of how oh, well, I should also say Gamblers Anonymous was cool because we thought of what does like a casino look like. So we did red, green, black, gold.
Okay, that's, you don't, you, Danielle, you're such a presence that it's almost like that, all of that stuff, all those details in the room kind of fade into the background. So that's a really cool detail.
You're not supposed to notice it. And that's always the best production design, best wardrobe, is that it just feels right.
Okay, I love that. Cool. Danielle, did you want to add on?
No, I think Aubrey said everything perfectly. Yeah. Honestly, one of my favorite things about the Gamblers Anonymous room was the cookies and the coffee pot. I don't even know if they're in there, but that along with the colors just made, I don't even know if it gets into a shot, but it really, everything felt like, Aubrey, you said, it felt right. So
yeah.
Okay.
One other thing though also is like I just love that when we were like looking for like one more piece of jewelry for the Alcoholics Anonymous, and she's wearing like this jean jacket, I had this like military tag with an American flag on it with gems that I've had since middle school, and just like in my old jewelry box at my parents' house. I like went to my parents' house to get it. I think like the reason I say that is because on a short film, you're a little more all hands on deck, and we had a lot of extras. So, you know, our wardrobe stylist really focused on Danielle's looks, but we had all these other people to dress. And so in addition to having them come to set and give options, a lot of time I was just raiding my closet, my brother's closet. I'm like, let's bring a lot of stuff. And that's why I collect a lot of clothing for these moments.
That's awesome. When I watch it again, I'll look at the background people too. What were the cookies?
Chocolate chip.
Were they decorated though? Or no?
No, they weren't decorated.
Oh, okay.
They were like Costco cookies. They were taken off our craft service table, which is like exactly the way, again, you do these things. Because it was like Daniel would be like running. Daniel's our phenomenal production designer, and then also another producer with us, and he was like running around being like, okay, so I need this and I need that, and like he would like grab off the craft service table. We also were very lucky to have this incredible location, and he was able to find the coffee makers and some of the other things in our location to fill out these rooms. And the rooms are actually used for support groups. So that was also sort of interesting in terms of like production design was like, they were authentic support group rooms, but then he really upped the game in the color themes that he discussed with Aubrey, and then also just leaning into what each theme of each room was. And we had to take down a lot of religious stuff because it was in a church.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Now, what was the research like for the research or for the support groups? I know Leah's not here, but if anyone wants to speak to that.
I think maybe the research, I don't know about the research, but like I think it was like just inventing characters for that could be in that group, you know, other than research of like what it might look like in real life, you know, like we would just look to other media that has shown a support group, and then how can we, you know, how can we make it our own with really like the color theory.
I'm just curious if there was like any improv on set.
It was all scripted. I mean, it was very scripted. I mean, obviously there were, you know, moments of facial reactions and things like that, certainly from the extras and whatnot. But I mean, this was fully scripted project.
There are a couple moments in the bathroom where Liza curses to herself about certain things. That was improvised, but that's about it. We really kept to the script. So.
One thing that was interesting is, all right, I can't say spoilers. There was a little bit of improv at the end, but just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
That's a teaser, so you have to watch it. The last scene might have a little bit.
That's smart. Now, what did your average shot list look like, Aubrey?
Oh, the shot list is like I like live and die by the shot list. My shot list, I love a shot list. Set it up. It's beautiful. You know, it has everything I need to know in it with notes, and always by the end of the shoot, it looks confusing to anyone else but me, maybe. But yeah, I really just do it kind of like, I just really plan it out. I make sure I have, you know what frame size we're going into and what the motion is. For the most part, those are like the main things I need to know.
Okay. And do you have a favorite kind of shot that you like to get?
I like to, in like each project I do, every project have a special shot. And so, you know, I think sometimes a shot can describe a genre as well. For example, I did a commercial once and it was supposed to be like a rom-com, and we just opened it up with like, you know, a crane shot on the character, and that just like sets you up like, oh, I'm in a rom-com. You know, there's just things like that and they're not, it's just a subconscious thing for viewers. And so here, I think I wanted to set it up that it was a comedy. So that's why, you know, we did the spinning to like right away let you know this is humorous.
Okay. Do you guys have any funny stories from the set that you would want to share?
I heard about a story from the script supervisor, who happens to be my husband, that during Alcoholics Anonymous, there were a few PAs that had to be outside the room. Now, I was oblivious to all of this because I was just whisked off to all these different places on set. But apparently we're in an old church basement, and apparently a rat or a mouse had died in the walls. And all the PAs that were on set were like back there like this in between takes. And they had to stay there because we had the circle track, we were adjusting things. And so everyone, once there was a cut, everyone would scurry to adjust and then go back. But so people were stuck in the hallway for probably up to an hour with this smell.
It was bad.
Wait, this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah,
you guys, and then we also had a temperature problem in the hair makeup room.
Oh, yep.
It was like there was no heat in it, and we were doing it in like November, right, or early October or whatever. It was cold.
November 15th and 16th.
Yeah, it was cold in there. The other story that I like to tell is we had all these extras. We had like 50 extras because we had to fill each of these rooms, and our AD like literally hired one of our extras like the next night to play a bouncer in in another project she was working on. And so like he came and gave us free work, but then like was able to get a job the next like 2 nights working with her on a project she was working on, which is really fantastic because that's why you do this kind of thing, right? Like you do it so that you can meet people and you work. And so I was so happy when Kat told us all that she had hired him, and he was such a lovely guy.
I totally forgot about that, but I love that. It's like, yes, work begets more work. Like that is, I forgot about that. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the cold thing that Katie mentioned was really, really bad. I think our martini shot was
outside.
It was outside at about 1:15 in the morning, and it was, I think, about like 20 degrees out. Yeah, it was November of 2019.
And it was really, really cold. We had 2 days of like brutal cold.
Yeah, and of course my co-star, he plays the character of Diego Rafael Sardina. He and I both just had like tiny jackets on, and he like made the character choice to have his jacket open still. And I was like, are you trying to like show me up here and like look so cool? He's like, the cold doesn't bother me. He's, he lives in Queens. And so I was just so impressed with that, and I was shivering, but we did it. So
That's awesome. Now you filmed this in 2019 or 2020?
November 2019. So we filmed it a few months before COVID and all the lockdowns happened. And so all of 2020, we were in post-production, but it was a really unique post-production because it was all digital. So, but yeah, we made it work.
So like more than a year removed from it, now it's premiering at Tribeca. So what's it like reflecting on this film for you guys?
Sorry, what was the question?
Sorry, I was just, what's it like reflecting and like remembering the fun?
It's wonderful. And honestly, we're premiering at our dream festival, which is so amazing. And so I just feel very humbled. I feel very grateful. And I feel like from that experience being on set, and of course, the 3 of us on this call, we did so much work leading up to that day. I feel like I gained like a whole new family and an artistic family, an artistic group of friends that I never had before. So I'm just super grateful and so excited. So
cool. And you guys are like, I'm just gonna look at my notes. You're playing in the shorts New York section. So you guys are like a homegrown short film. So that must be extra cool, right?
I've been going to Tribeca Film Festival for 10 years, and I had a documentary at Tribeca 2 years ago, and it's just so exciting that we get to premiere at Tribeca Film Festival. So it's in our backyard. It's great. We can get to it. We can be there.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's so awesome. And in the New York section too, what I think is lovely is they have a separate New York section where they're honoring the 2020 films of shorts as well, because they didn't get a premiere. So, and we're in the 2021 group, and yeah, so June 12th, here we come.
Okay, so that's when it premieres, Saturday, June 12th?
Yes. It'll be in person at 4:30, and then after that, it'll be released online digitally. So honestly, the festival has pivoted so well for accommodating digital and in person. They've done an amazing job. So.
Okay, is there going to be like a red carpet kind of thing for the live?
Yeah, they're doing a distant and socially distant and safe red carpet. All the screenings are outdoors, actually. So.
I was trying to figure out how they're actually going to screen us outdoors, because it's 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'm wondering if there's a tent or something. Like, how are they going to do that with the lighting?
I have a feeling it's going to be like a hybrid indoor-outdoor. But then also I was thinking about when I go to baseball games, they have LED screens, and those screens you can see really well.
So, yeah, so perhaps that's how they're doing it.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I have no doubt. I mean, this is Robert De Niro's festival. I'm sure it's under control. But I was wondering that too.
That's so exciting though, because like usually like the last couple months where I've asked like, oh, like what's it like playing at festivals, it's all been online, but like I forgot for a second that it's getting back to normal again. It's actually going to be in person.
Yeah.
And it's their 20th anniversary. So, that even adds a little bit more excitement to it too.
Okay. Does it add any nerves as well, or not really?
I mean, at this point, the hard work is done. We just get to bask in what we did. So, and I think, and just, really be excited. That's my perspective. I don't know about you guys, but.
Yeah, I don't feel nervous. I feel like I can't wait until Saturday. I can't wait to present it and hear the reactions, especially since it's a comedy. I think that's when it's gonna feel good, and like all this hard work, the hard work to make it, then after post, we've spent, since we did do it in November 2019, it has been a long time waiting to like see an audience reaction, and I think that's going to be a special moment.
That's totally the best part. The best part is that we're so lucky enough to have it be live and in person, and that like this is like one of the first post-COVID events in New York, and our program sold out basically immediately. It was impossible to get tickets to it, so it's really exciting we're going to be with people and like watching our movie. And I think that's so great, because I've had another film that, like, doing the festival circuit this year, and it's been all digital, and you don't get audience reaction or responses to what the film is.
Since it is a comedy, is there one, like, any point in the film where you need to hear people laugh? Like if you don't hear people laugh, you'll be sad.
Oh, I have one. I don't want to say it though. I can't spoil it. It's a little tiny acting moment that I have that I don't even know if y'all know the part I'm talking about. It's a tiny
It's when you mutter that moment under your breath, and you wanted to cut that out, but I wouldn't let you. Oh, that's my favorite moment in the whole film.
No, I was like, we got to shave a couple frames of this off. And they were like, no, we like it. Keep it. I'm like, oh, fine. That's actually not the part. The part is where Aubrey, when we were on set, you were like, you came up to me and you were like, that was very Lucille Ball of you. And I was like, okay, great. Should I do that again? And it's that moment. So I'm going to be looking to see who laughs.
I like your impression of me there, right then. I'm like so in the zone. I'm like, you just did Lucille Ball, right? Like, who's above my head right here.
And Aubrey would quite frequently come up to me on set for like last looks and be like, nobody loves you the way I love you. Like, let me fix you. Nobody loves you as much as I do.
I'd say that because, everyone's like, all right, Aubrey, like, leave the frame, and also like, that's not your job to do that. Yeah. But if I see a rogue hair, I'm not going to let that go. I'm not going to let Danielle have a rogue hair. I just won't.
Yeah. We take care of each other.
Awesome. Cool. So when I watch it again, I will look out for the Lucille Ball moment and the background actors as well. Cool. Danielle Beckmann, who plays Liza, Katie Rosin, who is producer and line producer, and Aubrey Smyth, who is the director of the film and one of the producers as well. Thank you guys for chatting with me about Liza Anonymous for the Movie Buff, and the film premieres June 12th at 4:30. Yep. Question mark? Okay.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Thank you. Awesome.